a bad man who never got enough hugs. Where's an innocent kid I can sell crack to? Who wrote this?
It's great, right? Keep going.
Sure. Blake, Amir, Kimiko, I have to admit, these three characters that you voice, I would say, are the heart and soul of this show, with the most sneaky depth. So what I'm gonna ask all three of you is, as an actor, when you read a script and you see how much depth a character may have more so than what's on the surface, how does that energize you as a performer?
Well, it just inspires so much, I don't know, possibility. Like it's provoking and exciting, and it just you just feel like there's room to move forward. And as as an actor, like I just have a general curiosity, of like what that's going to even look like and how that's going to deepen the character. So it's very exciting. I feel like Nifty of us three like has much ways to go. Like what makes her tick? What is she about? Can't wait. Can't wait to find out.
What's unique about playing a regular or a recurring character on TV is that depth is revealed to you over time, right? On a play or a movie, you get the script and that's that. If you have a one-day guest star, that you get the script and that's that. What's really interesting is going in, doing episode 1, thinking you have a pretty good sense of the character, and then as 2, 3, 4, and 5 get presented to you, you learn more and more. And it's really exciting. That discovery process is so fun. And something will happen in episode 5 that they knew was coming, but you hadn't been told about it yet. And it's fun how it colors everything that's happened, before then.
Yeah, I think one of the main things that you're trying to do as an actor is imbue your character with ample amounts of humanity, right? And being human is a process of living paradoxes and questions and contradictions, and you're hopeful that that is inherent within the script, and that's something that the script very much displays, is the contradictions of these characters, the different sides of them that interplay and either mesh or butt up against each other and inside themselves. And so it gives us a hell of a lot to play with, and it's exciting. Yeah, very much so.
And that actually segues into my next question about how much fun is it to play these types of characters, being that they're animated and you get to put your own spin on it. Like, how much fun is this?
It's the best.
So much.
It's the best. I mean, there's, anytime you do outside of like theater, when you're doing television or anything in this medium, you have a sense of like so much of it is out of your control. But in this way, like it's exciting because you get to see like half of it is your voice and half of it is their animation and like the choices, and even like the parts that aren't your voice, the choices they decide for your character, they get inspired by you, you get inspired by them. It's like a very collaborative experience in that way. I don't know, it's so fun like to see it. Like when you watch TV, like I often get like, oh god, now I have to like see my face and watch myself and whatever. But this medium, you get excited because you're like, what did they do with her?
Yeah. Yeah, there's such a question. You really have no idea until it comes out. And being able to be in the studio. I mean, the first day that I went in to record, we got done. It was like an hour session or so, and I got home and I just was twiddling my thumbs like, okay, when can I go back? Because everybody in the room is so freaking nice, and the material is so fun to do. Yeah, it's really the best you could ask for. It's a party.
And watching the show, for me as a viewer, is seeing the chemistry that's being portrayed by these characters that are happen to be animated. So let me ask you about building that chemistry with each other if you're in the room, with each other, cracking jokes and what have you, like, how do you actually are able to get work done when you're having this much fun with these characters?
Nope. Never met a single person on the show until a few months ago.
Yeah. I mean, we worked with the creatives, like we worked with Viv, we
Sure.
worked with the voiceover director, Richard Horowitz, but in terms of any of the cast, we never really had any interaction with them, which yeah, is an interesting thing.
I'm curious to see what season 2 is going to be like. Knowing, when we go into the booth, even if we're alone, knowing exactly what everybody else sounds like and knowing their rhythms and stuff
Right.
like that. And maybe ideally being able to like set them up to really like land their punchlines. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sort of like play with them even when they're not there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I like to think of it as being akin to like being in a circus and just being the ringmaster of everything, and just like you said, playing parts off of each other. So I'll ask this question. I'll say it this way. When you're doing this work, as you were saying, as opposed to, let's say, live action, or you're doing stage work, it's your own personal creative freedoms, like how much of the characters are you versus how much are they the characters that are on the paper?
It's always a
It
mix, right?
depends on, yeah, it depends. Like sometimes it's like their choices are completely out of your hands because it's not voiced,
Right.
and that's all you really have control over. And I don't know, there's something really liberating about that, and something really additive about that, and exciting. And I think going into season 2, it's just going to be so much better because of it, because we now, like, as the performers, seen what they've done.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, actually having something to visually attach ourselves to while to envision while we're saying our lines is extremely helpful. So it's a really fun thing, and it is always the question of how much of yourself do you bring to the character. I mean, personally, there is no way that you can't bring yourself to a character. You are as much an active ingredient in it, because your interpretation is a reflection of yourself inherently, right? But then you have the creative team's input and everything, so then it's a collaboration. So yeah, it's definitely an even mix.
And going back, Blake, to something you said earlier at the beginning of the interview, it's portraying the human element. So when us as the viewers see these characters as denizens of hell, how much of the human aspect, how difficult was it to bring that human aspect to these characters, being that this is a little bit of a dark comedy, and hell is hell. So it's like, well, how do we add some kind of spice of life to this, with our own, joie de vivre, as it were?
Yeah, I mean, first thing to understand, right, is that these people um all were humans at one point. I mean, and they still are human souls. They've just gone through a filter of judgment. So understanding that from the beginning, that you're dealing with demons, yes, you're dealing with people who look nothing like humans, but they are, at their core, at their center, they are human souls. So that makes it really easy to access those elements.
And finally, I'll ask this. I'll say, first off, Amir, you had me thinking I was going to change my name now to Alistair because of the character, because I want to see what he does in season 2, but at the same token, it's like hands over eyes. I don't want to see it because I'm a radio guy. So having a radio character, very old timey, brings a smile to my heart. But how evil is he in your opinion? Let's be honest here.
Yeah, I mean, he's the worst. He's the worst overlord in hell, and he's the most powerful. And I don't know what happens in season 2, but I can only imagine that he gets worse.
It's so interesting.
Can they get
that
worse?
he has that evil capability to put people on blast.
Literally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very
And what
real.
I've loved about all your characters too was the animations of like, you know, like head nods, like head to the side, like who are you talking to like that? So when you're looking at those stills and you're trying to voice these characters, it's like, ooh, you put your body into it, and it can kind of creep you out, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure. Yeah, you know, I think the animators do a great job of taking what we do in the booth and sort of imagining, you know, what the bodies do, and you know, they're also adding a lot of their own stuff in there too. It's pretty fun to watch.
Kimiko, please don't kill anybody with the knives, please. That was, you know, that's a little scary.
But it'll be so fun.
But thank you all. This show, I have said this before, this is one of the best shows I've seen in years, and I love
Wow.
animated shows. So I appreciate your work on this, and it's not fluff. This is poignant, even though it's a show about denizens of hell trying to be better. As a guy named Damien, I can appreciate that, you know, in the macros. So thank you so much for your time, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dave. That's
Damien.
really nice of you. Thank you.